Hello everybody, how you doing today? Superfiend here. Welcome back to Whacky World. It is, of course, Let's Play Planet Coaster. One of my longest running series, I believe. What is that? Do you hear that? What is that? Is this these things? Oh, yeah, it is these things. They're moving. I didn't notice this. So, we're here where we were at the end of the last episode, where I had spent a lot of time decorating this, and you can see I've kind of made a few modifications since then. We've got these interesting little pieces on the outside here, these little designs, this little decor. I can't remember if I did it last episode or not, but I made sure that these colors were kind of like some of the sandstone colors. Let's go ahead, let's fix this because this is bugging me. And then it's poking in and out. Yeah, boop, there it is. But I set it up so the little face thingy pokes out here. So we're going to need to click on this one and this one. Oh, it's only going to let me do it one at a time, huh? All right, activate on trigger. Stop moving. Stop it. Stop it. Okay, that takes care of that one. And then, oh, yes, look, what a surprise. I did this building, too. I didn't want to show you that quite yet, but then I got distracted by those stone pieces moving around, so... there it is! Look, I did this one too. Isn't that neat? It looks so much better now with these little decorations. We kind of got these little things up here. I've got this odd stonework. I don't know what the heck this would be in real life, or if it was actually sculpted. Let's go over and look at this one because it's a little bit easier to see. I'll just kind of pick it apart a little bit, show you what the pieces are. This is the ancient switch. There it is, little skeleton guy. It was not moving when I originally placed them. That's why, I didn't even realize it was on a trigger. I didn't even realize it had that. These are ancient statue tongues. Yes, ancient statue tongues. And then, if I just delete that big column, this is the ancient statue mouth, 5. And then this is ancient statue I2, left. Oh, and then I have them over here. So basically the way I put these down is I'll just show you how I did it, and then you can duplicate it if you ever want to do something similar. Is I just kind of started at the top, held down Control, and then you get this nice little left-right arrows. And so let's get it positioned. Hold down Control, clicky, clicky, clicky again, clicky, 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 clicky. And then I just click every other one. And then I deleted them, and then I selected them, and I hit X, and I got a nice little advanced move, axes, and then no, wrong way. There we go. I just kind of moved them until they did that. See, looks nice. And Control Z is your friend. Undo, 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 and then we put that one back. And then the mouths are kind of the same deal, just put a couple of them. I kind of let the bottom there overlap. Boop, boop, boop. Hit X. And then just slid them out until they were where I wanted them. Okay? D. Okay, so that takes care of what I did here with that building and this building. You can see there's some rocks on the pads. We'll get to that in a second. And I don't know if we did this in the last episode. There's a new tree there. I put a doorway here, and then I put this little sci-fi key code thingy. It was the best I could do. There's no good handle. There's no good door to put in here, so I just did this, and then I put the little sci-fi doohickey there, so it kind of looks like a handle where they can get in and out. And I can't remember if we did this last episode or not, but there's some panels here. I colored them this color. I don't know what this is because I'm red-green deficient, and this is on the green spectrum. It's some sort of, I don't know, aqua fur, turquoise something or other. I have no idea what color that is. and then I made the door the same color here. Interesting. I don't know what this orange color is on the door, but who cares? Now, I also did some other stuff. Let's go look at it. Woo! Over here, I decorated along this path. Doesn't that look spiffy? Doesn't that look neat? Once upon a time, this whole area, it looked like this. That's what it looked like at the end of the last episode. It looked just like that. And now it looks just like this. So we've got some plants up here. This is the scaevola. Some of them are the beach bush. No R in there. And then some of the red floral bush and various alpine, tropical, and what's the other rock? Deciduous? It may not be any deciduous. Oh, no, there could be one right back in here. I see one. He's a candidate. Not still alpine. So anyways, I went through and I just kind of like dropped those rocks in there and whatnot. And we're going to be doing more stuff like that this episode, I think. But so now anyways, like this little bit of the path back here is kind of done. Looks a little bit better. I'd like to add some more like colored plants in there. Just give it a little bit more color. A few flowers here and there might look nice. Although I don't know. I don't really know. Okay, going back this way. Whoa, what happened over here? This is new. There's a whole bunch of rocks littered all over the path. And I talked about that a few episodes ago when I'm working on stuff and I don't know what pieces I'm going to use. And, you know, I kind of just litter them all over the paths. And I throw them onto the paths because when I'm all done, if they're still on the paths, then I intend to delete them, see? So it's a good way for me to know, like, yes, I do not intend for a giant rock to be in the path and for the guests to be walking through it. So when I'm all done decorating this, like, most of these rocks out here will go away. But you can see here, I've started to decorate in here and over here, a little bit of foliage. And as two people who also play this game would call it, the Planet Bro Coaster guys, a little bit of nature, although I don't really think this is all that neat. But so anyway, so what I did in here is I did a little bit of terraforming, and then I kind of like smushed the terrain around a little bit and just started scattering some rocks. Okay, and so we got a few trees in there. And I know the roots are like going right into the rocks, and that's kind of cheesy, but depending on what brush and other stuff we put in here to kind of like hide and cover it up, you really may not notice it all that much when we get there. And then over here, let's see, same kind of idea. So we're going to continue working on that a little bit, and I think we're going to start on this side. We're going to work on this side a little bit just so you can see, you know, a little bit of the process. It's really not that convoluted, not that difficult. And it's really just rocks. So I'll just do a couple of them, and then we'll throw down some foliage, and then we'll start fencing in the patio. And I haven't done anything back here with this thing because really I'm kind of at a loss for what to do with that. Okay, so I got all my rocks out, right? This is my palette. These are my tools. Like if I was a painter, these would be like my colors laid out on my palette that I think I might use in this painting session. So we're going to pick one and Control D to duplicate it because we want to leave it there so that we can continuously use it. And then we just kind of like go like this, you know, we just move around and say like, yeah, this looks kind of okay. Get a little bit of a rotation there. Hit X, right? Hit X because then it won't move, but we can move the camera and we can see things like, oh yeah, it could come up a little bit more. See, maybe move it this way a little bit more. Maybe give it a tiny bit of rotation like this, and that will kind of like get it off that path there. Okay, see? And then it looks like that, and it doesn't look so bad. Now, we've already got one here. Like, there's another one waiting for us to, like, place it, right? The game will let us. But if we just go ahead and hit that, we can freeform, like, move it around the way we originally did. And by doing this, we can place the same rock a couple times. I'm going to kind of like rotate this one this way. I'm going to hit X and then move it around just a little bit more, kind of slide it this way, move it back. Oh, I don't know, maybe like that. Maybe this one will create like a little tiny gap right there, right? Just a little bit of a gap. And then hit the checkbox, and you can either press M as the shortcut key, or you can click the 4 arrows that mean move. And then we can kind of position it again. And we can just kind of cruise up here. It's usually a good idea to try this at like different distances, different angles. And I'm moving a little bit slower than I normally would because I'm spending a little bit more time talking. And just, you know, just try different stuff. You know, okay, so like that's, you know, that's interesting enough. Now I think we've placed that rock enough times. So I think it was this one. So we'll just go grab like another rock. You look good. Come over here. See, we just do it like this. How easy is it? You know, hold shift, move it up and down, hit X, and then just like try different stuff. You know, ooh, there's kind of like a little bit of a flat surface. I kind of like that. Yeah, and then if you just like from here, if you want to be able to move it vertically up and down, just switch over to the world axes and you'll get the green arrow will always be vertically, like straight up and down. Okay, and then we'll go back to relative axes. We'll press that little button again, so we can move it this way. Freeform, decorating. So let's see. One thing I don't like about using shift is like if you get it to a good elevation and then you want to move it around, like it's hard to do. Like you have to like roll your finger off of shift and control. It's kind of stupid. The easiest way to do it is to move it to a certain spot and then just hit X, and then you'll get the relative axes that go with the with your object. I think that looks pretty good right there. And then we'll click the little 4 arrows again. Okay, see, so there's really nothing to this, right? This is not a very involved process. And you decide when you're done. And it's usually a good idea to go in and grab some of like the smaller rocks. Okay, so like this one. Throw this over here a little bit. And let's see. I'm no geologist. I like to imagine that the smaller rocks would kind of like, I don't know, stick together like that. They'd all be together. And then like you can come over here and like here's an opportunity. Like we got this big hole right here, right? We probably need a bigger rock in there, to be honest. But like right here, I'm gonna like throw that down right there. Looks okay. Let's get a big fatty. I'm clicking on this rock right here. Give me the rock. Give it to me. All right, so let's see. Hold down. Whoa. Is that what I wanted? Shift to go up and down. Hit X. Okay, you're thinking this is a disaster. Don't do it. It's not going to work. But then when you rotate it, ta-da! Look, it closes up the little gap between the rock and the path, and hides everything else because it's so darn big. There we go. That looks okay to me, right? That looks okay. And then I think that's enough with the rocks for right now. So we're going to cool it with the rocks, and then we're going to just go grab some foliage. And it's going to be more scaevola. It's going to be more red floral bush and beach bush. Here's the beach bush. Okay, some scaevola, right? Some scaevola. And then so what you do with here is just like find a spot where it's mostly flat, and then just hold shift. And then just kind of like, just move it up and down. I mean, you don't even have to do that much. You could hit Z and rotate it like a couple times, but then like, no, that one's covering up the little rock too much. So I think maybe we want to go over here. Hit X. Hit X. Use the green arrow and kind of drop it right there. Now let's see. We'll hit M. Now, this is what I was talking about with the tree roots and stuff. See, if we do like this. Okay. It's floating, I think. But, like you can't tell, okay? You can't tell this is floating. You got to go in there and really look for it to notice that it's floating. So, you can get away with stuff like that. Over here, let's see, what do we get? So, we'll use shift to move it in and out, and then hit X and get the advanced rotational tool, and then just kind of play around with it a little bit and see what you can make. Tumula Semerfer. These people speak gibberish. They sound like toddlers, some of them. I was telling this story to somebody like a little while ago, the other day. Oh, hold on a sec. Let me back it up here. Yeah, that looks pretty good. I mean, it's not perfect. I don't know if I like the way this tree is. And of course, if you don't like it, just come in here, select tree, hit X, and like, just go down a little bit. You go down a little bit over here. Okay. So anyways, I made a comment speaking like a toddler, and then I was telling the story the other day. When I was little, my mom used to let my brother play on the old cordless phone. This is back when like a cordless phone was as big as your forearm, and she used to let him play on the cordless phone. And he was like 3.5 or 4. He was little. He was a little guy, And my mom would be doing dishes and whatever. And my brother would be holding the phone up to his ear, and he'd be going, blah, 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 blah. You know, he could talk, but he would always slur his words. He always sounded like he was a little bit drunk or something because he couldn't quite enunciate. Yeah, he was still learning that skill. And so, I mean, this went on for like weeks. And so one day I say to my mom, I say, why do you let little Superfiend's brother there, why do you let him play on the phone all day and talk to people? And my mom says, she goes, what do you mean? He's just playing on the phone. I said, well, he's talking to people. She goes, no, he's not. I said, well, he's talking to people. And sure enough, she goes over, she gets the phone from him, and there's this woman on the other end of the phone, and she's hysterical. And it turns out that my brother has been calling this woman for over a month. And then for over a month, he would be calling her, and then he would be babbling into the phone and speaking gibberish. And she thought he was like some sort of psycho stalker pervert that was harassing her. And this was like back before Star 69 and caller ID and all that stuff. This was this would have been like I don't know, 89 or something like that. It was a long time ago. But so anyways, it took a while for my mom to calm this woman down and convince her that the person who's been calling her is only like 3.5 or 4. And by the end of the phone call, my mom had given this woman like our address, our phone number. She'd given her like my mom had given her driver's license number. You know, like if you ever get a call again, this is who we are. You can come over here. This is our address. You know, talk about like you wouldn't do that today either. But so anyways, a little bit of a tangent there, a little bit of a side story. And so let's see. I really didn't get much done while I was doing that. Hopefully the story was good enough that you didn't mind that I got squat done. Okay, so let's, what else do we need? I want some of the little red floral bushes, the red floral bushes. And I got some over here. When you're editing a building, okay, let me show you something if you're kind of new to the game. When you're editing a building, like right now I'm editing this building over here. If you click on another building, you'll be inside that building grid, and then you'll be editing that building. And one thing you could do is just like go over to a building that has a piece you want, like right here, duplicate it, move it over here, and just move the mouse around until it says add the building, and then click, and it will now add it to the building that you want. And then when you click on it again, it'll highlight it, but you'll be inside the building that you intended to be working in. And that's an easy way to move pieces between buildings without hunting and pecking for them down here in the grid. Like if you've already got the piece out somewhere else and you know you've got it out, just go like grab it. Save yourself the effort. Because it's really tedious trying to figure out where certain pieces are in these screens. Like, is it in scenery? Is it in building? Was it called a pole, a post, a pillar, a plank, or a beam? What was it called? And it's just, it drives you nuts. Drives you insane. All right. Okay, let's see. So, relative axes. Kind of like, there we go, see? And I don't quite like the way this one right here is just coming clear out of the rock. So one thing we could do is click on that. Hit X. And just throw a little bit more foliage on it. And then you won't notice. You won't notice the bit that looks bad. See, you just cover it up. Kind of like... if you got like a little dog that poops on the carpet and you just put a piece of paper towel over it for a few days, you'll never notice. It's like it's not even there. All right, so let's see. I think that's pretty good right there. Like, okay, so you get the idea, right? I'm going to go in. I'm going to dress this up a little bit more, probably on my own time. How long have I been going here? Like 20 minutes. I don't want to spend like an hour just putting bushes down here and rambling. I don't know if it's that entertaining for people. But so anyways, you get the idea. I'll do some more of this. I'll turn the torch cam off. That's hotkey L for anyone who's new. And I kind of did paint the scenery a little bit here. If we go into terrain and we go to painting. This is a custom biome. When you load your park, you can pick a custom biome. So I've got like tropical rock, alpine rock, and then a few other things to make this like tropical stuff. And then I picked a few other ones that are sand so that I can do like an Old West or Wild West type area. So anyways, though, After you terraform and you do stuff, it's a good idea to go in and paint, like, just a little bit. And, you know, the way you do that is select your brush, pick an intensity and a size. So I'm going to do, like, 1M. And so, like, let's say we think the flowers are too much here, and we just want to have a little bit more of these, they call it grass, but it's more like jungle leaves, going from, like, up here down to here. Then you just paint it in, right? Just paint it in. And then it's mostly covering up the existing grass with the flowers. They're both called grass because it's grass from two different biomes. Anyways, and it's at 47%, so it's not going to completely cover it. Do that a little bit in here. And that kind of makes it look like it's this tropical overgrowth and some flowers and whatnot have fallen down on top of the terrain here, right? So... you know, it looks pretty good. I'll do some more. Let's start doing a little bit of the fence here so you can get an idea of what that might look like. And really quick, whoops. Let me just save it. Okay, there we go. I've got a few different buildings going on in here, too. I may want to clean that up at some point. But so anyways, I've been thinking in my head, like, what kind of fence and stuff do I want around this? I think I want wood fence. We could go the easy route and use the built-in in-game fences, and that would make it easy to... well, we wouldn't have to put as many pieces down, basically, is what it boils down to. And that could be beneficial. The other thing is, though, is we could make, like, our own fence out of actual planks and beams and whatnot. I'm going to go ahead and pause it for right now. Just because, like, where the camera is, it's getting kind of loud. So, you know what? Here's an easy way to do stuff. Like, if you're on the fence, no pun intended, if you're on the fence about what kind of fence to build, do both and then decide which one you like. So... let's go ahead and let's hop over the scenery because I'm pretty sure all the fences are in here. These are all the pre-built fences. And I do like these wooden stake ones, but they're just not quite right for this area. This is more like a frontier land for me. Let's see. This wooden panel fence is kind of nice. It's a nice fence, but I just don't see it in this area of the park. These stone fences don't really mesh with the wood base that's on the ground. Maybe the stone fences like up around here might look good, but down here, I just don't see it. The really colorful fairy tale fence is not bad. I used that somewhere already. I think it was over by the playground. Now this fence could work. This little fairy tale fence, and I really haven't used this anywhere in the park yet. I don't think so. Maybe I want to do it over here. I don't know. Well, anyways, here's a candidate, so we'll put it up here. It's now part of the wrong building, but that's okay. We can fix that easily. And the crypt fence or the spooky fences. And then, of course, there's these obvious, like, real piratey fences. This one I've kind of been reserving. Trees are now in the way. I've been kind of reserving anywhere where the path goes up near the water, or where there's water kind of prominently in the area or around the area. So I don't want to do that one back here. I've kind of done this one a lot. So you know what? I think we're going to do it. We're going to go fairy tale. So I'm going to hit M to move this. And I'm going to hold F, and that's going to add it to this building down here. And then I'm just going to hit X, move it over this way. Now we do have a walkway right here. But when you initially place your fences, just like cover things up and put them in the way, basically, would be my advice. Or we could kind of like slide it all the way down here. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of set them up like this. After getting the first two, we'll do the next two. And then we can just do this. And you can just go all the way down. And now that we've got like 4 of them selected, that's kind of good enough. And we'll just go... Actually, I don't want to go that far down because we're going to do half one way and half the other. And then we'll decide which one we actually like better. Okay, so I'm going to click on that one, hit Control X. That brings us into here, except... Okay, Control X. turn on 45-degree angle snap. Rotate. And then we'll just bring it along this way. And bring it up here. Now these don't have to like be flush. A lot of times when you first start out in this game, you get a little obsessed with making everything flush, and then you very quickly find out that the scenery in this game will never quite work that way, and it makes you go crazy. And you just have to accept the fact that like there's going to be tons of little imperfections in your park, but the sooner you accept it, the happier you'll be. And then like right here, we can see that when I overlap the post here, it doesn't quite cover the 4M. So I mean, like you could do this and have this little gap between them. You know, I don't know how much I really like that, but you know, it is what it is. We're gonna duplicate. I'm gonna, let's see. Okay, so let me do that again. Duplicate. These are at an incline, and just putting the piece right here is gonna like make it that same incline, and then just hitting X twice. And we still got the angle snap on the rotation at 45 degrees, and then we can slide it over this way. And then this is going to look particularly ugly because you're like, ugh, look at that. What is this nonsense? Come on, Frontier. Allow us to make better fences, but you know what? This is what we got. This is what we got. Okay. And they'll just go all the way up. And then, you know, they don't quite make it. They don't quite make it, so let's get them like evenly spaced in here. We'll see if we can't figure out something that we can do. I hate that. Ugh, it makes me crazy. And then, okay, so now we'll duplicate this one. Hit F to center it right on this piece. It becomes part of that building. Click it to select it. Hit X twice. 45-degree angle snap while we rotate it. And then we kind of like go over there. And then like right here. And so we end up with these gaps, right? And then one other thing you could do is all these pieces are identical. So you could pick a couple of them here or there, hit X twice, and just flip them around 180. And that will help to break up the uniformity of these if they are exactly the same. It's kind of hard to tell. But yeah, but you can do something like that. And then, so now we got these little gaps, and I'll be honest, I don't like them. And I've said this before, but for me in this game, sometimes building is just putting down your basic pieces or making your basic shapes and then just throwing stuff at it until it stops looking ugly. So like right now, it looks a little bit ugly and I kind of don't like it. So the way we can fix that, there's a couple ways, I guess. There's a couple different things we could do. Let me show you some ideas, right? So we could come in here and we could look for pillars. I don't know what I'm going to keep, but I'll give you some ideas. Now, if I click on this piece and I hit X, that opens up the axes. And then when I go ahead and just grab one of these pillars, it will line it up according to this axis. Now, sometimes it'll be laying down and you just stand it up. But see, so we can move this like right here, right? Keeping in mind that it's not going to be perfect. And you can kind of like do this. Okay, so that's one way we could kind of like close the gaps in between these pieces. And then over here, I think I'm happier with it like this. Although it really does look kind of like crap, but whatever. And then down over here, like I don't even know. I don't even know what I would do over here. Let's get rid of that one for right now. Let's do like this. Let's duplicate. Let's drag it all the way down to here. Like about to there. You know, and you just have to ask yourself, like, are you really going to notice? You know, are you going to notice that it's imperfect? I mean, you know, when you build it, you know it is, but you got to think about, is anyone else going to really notice or care? And, you know, that kind of could change your mind about whether you like it or not. Similarly, we could use another piece. There is a... not these pillars, not the gloss tile or whatever the heck that was. What's it called? It's called, is it in here? No, column. this is where I'm tempted to go. Yeah, you know what? I'm just going to go grab it off of something else because I don't know what it's called. But I know I used it, and I used it over here in this building somewhere. It's these ones. Fairy tale horizontal column. So we bring it all the way over here. Okay. And we just hit F to center it, and now it's part of this building. Yay. So this one's a little bit bigger. Yeah, a little bit bigger. That's not what I wanted. I wanted it standing up like that. Maybe we'll have the little decoration, the inscription or something, like facing inside. Okay, and then you could bring this like up here like this. Now see, this is so big that it actually just covers up like the whole thing. All right, so you really can't tell that there's a gap in between there. So here's another option. You know, find a scenery piece that's so darn big that it just covers the whole stinking thing up. And sometimes that's actually not a bad idea. And then the only thing you have to ask yourself is like, are these all going to be the same height, or you know, like how are we going to do it? One way you could do it is you could say like, I want the fence on the left to roughly hit this little thorn that's right here. So there, that one hits like right there. That means this one needs to come up a little bit higher. And then it's roughly the fence is touching the thorn. So you just look for like a little measuring stick on your piece of scenery. Okay, so you can do something like that. That's an option. And that actually, ooh, you know, I kind of like that. I do kind of like that. Another thing you could do, since I'm brainstorming, is I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to duplicate this piece. We're going to bring it over here. We're going to lay it down. We're going to lift it up, hopefully. We're going to rotate it so the writing is laying on the inside. Okay. And then let's see here. Now, thankfully, the axes on this one, it's not in the dead center of the thing, but it's at least in the center of this bottom plane. So if you look at the little white line right here, it'll show you like exactly where it is. So now it's like half on this side, half on that side. Okay, so you could do like this. Okay, and so you could bring it to like right there. And then bring another one like here. This is as much as we're going to get out of this though, because of how big it is. So you could do something like this. If we wanted a third one, we'd have to select these two. No, I take it back. We'd have to go down like half. Select these two. Oh, don't want to duplicate. Let me just try something here. Go down like half, right? Now if we duplicate this one, lift it up like half so that it's just underneath here. We can't see it, but you can go back like this, right? And then now what you could do is we could take one of these fences and do it how? Like maybe like that. And then we'll slide this back until it's just right under there. And then we'll duplicate this one. Okay, do like that. This one actually came out pretty good. And then this one can slide back too. Okay. So you could do something like that, right? That's another way to do fences. And you know, actually, I'm kind of okay with that one. That's not too bad. You could even slide this over just a little bit that way. Slide this one over just a little bit that way. And then if we go back to the building, so now there's this little gap in here. If you wanted to fill that in, you could find a plank. Here's some planks. So you click on a piece, you hit X, come over here. We're going to stand it up. And then just move it over, like right. You know, just do that. And then maybe we'll make the plank like mid-height between the two. Yeah, see? So that's like one way we could do it. That's not too bad. And then Okay, so it starts to look like kind of like crap in here, right? It looks kind of crappy in here. And then what you do is we just have to like fill in some scenery right here until this part doesn't look bad. See, it goes back to what I said earlier. You come up with the basic shape, the basic idea, and then you just start throwing scenery at it until it stops looking like crap. And like this one down here, this first option, I think looks the crappiest. This right here and this right here, they're kind of like tied. And, you know, on second thought, I don't think I like the planks. I don't think those are doing us any favors to be there. So I think just going back this way, you know, it's kind of nice. Can I change the color on these too? No, they don't. They're not colorable. But so anyways, and then another thing you could do too is, right, so like, you know, you don't have to set these things like this. We could go down, and we could go down like that. We could go higher and then put like a wood beam or something underneath them. You know, there's all sorts of options here. So like, see, you could do something like that, and then let's say I hit X, and instead of planks, I look for beams. Just show you more stuff you can do. So now we got a big beam here, although this one's too wide. But like you could do something like this, right? And then you'd have to like, that one's way too big. I guess a pillar. I guess one of the pillars would work. Whoa! Oh, I hate when that happens. I don't like it when that happens. Okay, so we click on this. We hit X. We find a 2M house pillar. Is that really 2M? You know, you do something like this. And then because the round post is poking out on each side, you know, like put one of them over here. You know, and you may decide that looks good, you know. I personally don't like it for this, but you may decide it looks good in your park, and it's all up to you. So, and then the other thing we want to do later is we want to have lighting. So one of the things that you got to think about when you do this kind of stuff is like, how are we going to get lights in here? So we could have various torches or lanterns on top of these. We could have a post going up and attach the lights to the post if they're not, if the lights themselves aren't too big. And then let's see, where are we at? Let me show you how you would make a fence all on your own, a custom fence. And for this one, I'm thinking we would use beams down below, and we would use planks going up the side here. So I like to use the haunted house beam because it's colorable. You can change the color on it. And so anyways, what you do is just like get them right, like line it up on the edge, hold control. Okay, hold control. This should work. I'm having a little bit of trouble being accurate with the mouse, and that's because I'm on a treadmill. I don't know if you can hear it in the background, but I'm cruising at a very comfortable 0.8 of a mile per hour, which is like a snail's pace. Just enough to keep the feet moving, but it's also like making it hard to do a video. This is the first time I've ever tried to do this like this. And then let's see, we'll rotate these 45, lift them up, right? Okay, so we come over here, and that looks like okay. And you're thinking, wow, that's so awesome. You're so creative. What a genius. Yeah, we're gonna line it up like right down here. Again, I'm having a little bit of trouble being accurate with the mouse. Okay, so we'll like do like that, and then we'll do like this. Okay, and so that kind of gives you like the basic shape, and then you go, wow, superfiend, awesome fence. It's a little bit too high. Okay, so these people happen to be right here, and that's very convenient. Let's pretend that they weren't. Let's get out of the building. Let me show you something else you could do. It has to be unpaused to do this. No, I want to move you people. It won't let me because they're sitting down. So anyways, what you can do is you can click on random people and hit M, and then bam, I got you. You're mine. And you drop them down, and then before they run away, you hit pause, right? And so now you've got like a good little person right here, and you can tell how tall they are. Another thing you could do another person measuring stick is you can go into shapes and get like the extra small shape and just like click that. There, now if he walks off, now we know how tall an adult is, see? So we don't need him here anymore to know that that's how tall he is. Anyways, getting back to the task on hand. So we're going to click on all of these because I don't want this to be so tall that the adults can't see out. Yep. Yeah, switch the camera angle. And so what I'm going to do, right, so we got our pretend adult on the other side. I'm just going to go down until I can kind of like see the adult. You know, there he is. And then that's about how tall they would be. And then the other thing you could do is you come in here, click on some of them at random, and just change the heights. Okay, click on some others at random. Maybe go a little bit higher. Anywhere where there's two that are the same height at this point is where you maybe want to vary it up some more. So now we'll kind of go down. Okay, so now it kind of starts to look like you got some variation in there. And then have fun with the color. So select some at random. Click on the color. You know, change the color. Let's go like a little bit lighter. Although I want something more brown. And go over to the palette. That's kind of brown. No, it's kind of red. This is more brown. And like cruise in here, go a little bit light. When it turns into a black thing with a white question mark in it, that means that you've selected multiple pieces of the same type that are different colors. And what we could do now is we could click this. That's going to pick the last color that we had, and then just click nearby, and you'll get a similar color, right? See how that worked? Okay, and we just do it again. Click the last color we had, click nearby. We're going to go a little bit darker this time, and then we'll select a few more. Trying to get... I don't know why this game decides sometimes it's just going to eat mouse clicks. Good grief. Come on, I'm clicking on this piece right there. Frustrating. And then we'll go to the last color that we had, and we'll go like, I don't know, about like that. Okay, and so you can see that you very quickly end up with like a fence that doesn't look so bad. And then places like right here where it's intersecting with the trash can, you know, what we could decide to do is we could decide to take this whole row and like scooch it out a little bit so it's not intersecting with the trash can. In fact, let's do that. So let's click and drag. Okay. We selected too much, so we're going to deselect. Actually, we want to keep these ones because they need to be moved too. We're going to deselect this stuff and that and that. And this, and this, and this, and this. And that, and that, and that. Okay, and since I'm not exactly sure how many... Yeah, see, I got too much. That's why I had a screwed up axes. Darn it. Darn it. Let's try it again. Come on. Let me deselect the pieces. I have to go after these ones from over here, and then I gotta drop down here. Okay, and so since these are all like right angles with each other, we now get a nice axis that's finally right angles with us. So we can like slide it around until we get access to the trash can. And then we'll just hit, what? What? No. No, don't deselect everything, darn it. Okay, we're gonna go select this entire row. Let me just show you. Okay, so now that we got that, Control X again. Go all the way down here until they just like line up. These two are almost the same height. Imagine that. So we'll just, we'll do something like that. And then now that we've kind of done that, what we want to do is we want to open up this little spot in here where the people walk by, right? So we're going to go ahead and get rid of all these pieces. Okay, so we get rid of those. We're going to get rid of these ones here. And then we get rid of that one. We could take these two and slide them down just like a little bit here. And then we've got kind of a funny corner, so we could take like another big post or pillar or something and put it just right here and make it really tall. And that would be okay. Let's see, this one can go. And then we could take these ones and kind of, like, we want to get them like half in here, do that. And then if we still don't like the way this looks, just grab like a plank or something and you know, hide it down here. We'll get to that maybe in the next episode. But it seems like a lot of work to end up with just this. And it's mostly because like all these steps were here. But, you know, if I were to duplicate these and move them back here, put them over here as well, you get the idea. So we got a few different templates that we could work with. I'm kind of, at this point, I'm kind of leaning on this one, to be honest. The vertical fairy tale columns with the fairy tale fence. I kind of like that. I think that's probably what I'm going to do in here. I'm not going to do it all today because, like, I've showed you enough. When we come back in the next one, I'll most likely have gotten that done. I'll probably have done some more work over here, maybe inside here as well, and hopefully finished off like this one. And I don't quite yet know what I'm going to do in these little holes right here. I'd kind of like to have some stonework with some interesting statue or something on top of it. I just don't know if the holes are big enough to get anything done in there, but we'll find out. So that's it for this one. Let's save it. Save. Let us save. And that's going to be it for this one. Let me know if you enjoyed it with comments or thumbs up. Thanks for watching. You have a good afternoon. We'll see you next time. You take care.